Hey, what's up guys, Pallab here from nothingwire.com, and today we're talking about possibly the best option for your local storage or backup solution. We're talking about a NAS, a network attached storage, and in particular we're talking about the WD or Western Digital MyCloud EX2 Ultra. Now here you can see this one is the 8 TB version because this actually is a UK unit, and I wanted a 8 TB version basically, but in India you'd get a diskless, which is 0 TB, or a 4 TB version. So that's 4 TB is the max that you'd get. A diskless one, I think in US it'll cost about $180, and in India about 17,500 rupees. For the 4 TB version, where you'd get 2 WD RAID 2 TB discs as well with this one, that'll cost you I think just under 35,000 Indian rupees here, and about $350 in the US. You would not get an 8 TB version, and this particular series, which is mainly aimed at consumers, it actually comes up to 16 TB, but in India, that told you before, only get a max of 4 TB, meaning two 2 TB drives, because it's a 2-bay pre-configured NAS. 2-bay meaning 2 slots for hard drive, so you can put maximum of 2 hard drive as well. So 4 TB meaning you can put a maximum of 2 TB hard drive. Let's quickly talk about this particular one. It's an 8 TB one. You can see it's compatible to PC, Mac, iOS, Android. It also supports DLNA, and those are the things that you'll get in the box. That's the one. Nothing much on this side. This is the power. So you have Marvell Armada 1.3 GHz dual core A9 processor and 1 GB of RAM. Those things are needed, let's say, for streaming or for accessing the data, how fast and the performance wise. Now once you open the box, you'll find the main NAS. That's the NAS. We'll come back to the NAS in just a bit. Apart from that, you'll find some manual. That's the quick start guide, and that's how you'd get started. And then you get a LAN cable here. See, this one, so one will go to the back of your NAS, and the other will go to your wireless router to be able to attached to the network basically, and then you get a power. So your NAS has to be continuously powered via a power port. So I have these circular ones, but you also get the flat ones because it's a UK unit. Now coming back to this, this one is a 8 TB version. I think it should be slightly about 2.6 kilo. They're not light. It's all plastic, but then the thing looks very premium, gunmetal finish plus your black finish here. Those are your light. It's not connected obviously, but this will light up. This for your number 1, this number 2, and that's the power. On the back side, you have the reset button right over there. You have 2 USB 3 port, you have a LAN port, and then the power out. You can also lock this device via Kensington lock. You have this rubber feet there so that it does not scratch the surface that you put it on. Simply go ahead and open this. And one of the good things about these devices, advantages, it's what WD calls it trayless architecture or design, meaning that you do not have to pull out a tray and then take out a hard disk from there, which meaning that less movable part, which meaning that less chances of things getting failed. So you can simply rotate this, and then hold this and just pull this out. So that's one of the drives. See, it looks very similar to your desktop internal drives, but they are different. They're specifically made for NAS, and they're also substantially more expensive than your usual drives. So, and you can see 2 drives. So 2 4 TB drives constitutes the 8 TB. That's the max. You can also put here 2 and 2 and make it 4, but you cannot increase that to 16 TB. Now that I've connected my MyCloud to the router, we can access that on my laptop via the browser and on my phone via the MyCloud app. So here what you'd have to do is just go to mycloud.com/setup initially, and you need to set up the device. It's searching for my device, and there you see that's my dashboard. So I have about 300 MB of movies and 55 MB of photos, You can go in, you can diagnose this, you can update your firmware via that. User 1, apps 4, you can go to user and manage user, adding user and give access to things, your folders over there, and then cloud access. You can add Dropbox, third-party clouds, or its own MyCloud.com, and then you can set up your backups types, for example remote backup and USB backup, cloud backup. You can also set up your camera backup, and in that's the cloud access. And then in storage you have some options, like I can just go and show you this. Okay, and then you have these 4 options. JBOD is just a bunch of disks, so both the disks will just behave like independent hard disks, the simplest of them. Then you're spanning, and those are actually quickly explained here. You can see a combination of drive in linear fashion. They logically distribute the data. RAID 0 and RAID 1. RAID 0, remember, does not duplicate the data, does not mirror the data, so you get all the 8 TB, and because it's logically distributes, sequentially distribute the data here, it's easier to copy and retrieve the data from here. But it's not very secure, not as secure as RAID 1, because the data is not mirrored. Even if one drive fails, then the data on that whole drive goes. And then that's my favorite, RAID 1. It does not have that what you call stripping, means it does not sequentially save the data, so it's not as fast as RAID 0, but then it mirrors the data on both drives, so your one drive is always the backup of this one. The downside is that out of 8 TB you only get 4 TB storage, meaning you can only save data up to 4 TB, because the other one is only a mirror of this. So I've just, for the demonstration purposes, I have just selected just a bunch of disk option, disk status and virtualization and some of the other things. And then your apps and settings, you have different options in settings. Those you can also go ahead and configure your network from here, those. And then media, utility, here you can format drives, you can restore drives, you can reset and do all the things, and firmware updates. To access the data, simply go to your PC, and then in your network locations you'll see something like this. Go and click on that, and you'll find whatever the data you need. Okay, all these are the photos that I backed up. Next, let's take a quick look at the app. So it comes in both iOS as well as Android app. So we'll show you the Android app. For when you open the app, it will show you this. So if you have a MyCloud account, in case you save your file to your MyCloud.com or cloud.com, whatever, that WD's own cloud storage, then you use this. I'm gonna connect to my local device, so it will give me options. See, these are supported: Drive, OneDrive, and even Dropbox. You can save all your files here as well if you have enough storage. So I'm gonna go and add my local NAS there. So you'll get an option of auto backup, and then it'll show you if you wanna auto backup your stuff. Then it'll show you which folder you wanna auto backup. Okay, firmware up that I do not want that. So the app does not have as many features as the browser or as your dashboard on let's say your laptop or desktop, but you get this. You get your folder, you can access your photos and videos from there. So some are already present from before, and some are getting backed up. You can see 4 of 13 items are getting backed up. You can see your music and videos, and then you can also go and manage your devices or services. I can delete my device from here, and then your downloads, activity, those, and then shared with me, shared with others, and then some of the quick settings like auto sync only on Wi-Fi to save data cost, and sync interval. If you're on data, it will warn you, and then cache size and some of the others. So not much option. The app is mainly used to auto upload your media and to access and to see what files are there, but it's not much to configure the whole NAS basically. So this is how I use it as a backup or as a storage solution. I use a combination of NAS, SSD and online storage like Drive or Dropbox. I mainly use Drive basically because that kind of seamlessly integrates with my other Google services. So what I do is I use the SSD while I'm traveling, and I only carry the stuff. Let's say whenever I'm going on a photography tour, I'll just store those files there. I come back home and I transfer those files to my NAS. Now I have this 8 TB NAS. So from the NAS here, I'll configure my online storages mainly on Drive, but if you have Dropbox or OneDrive enough storage, then you can configure those as well. So these also get backup to those online services. Now you cannot compete with those online services mainly because of the huge infrastructure obviously, but they have a recurrent cost. So if you value your data enough, then you probably should have a NAS at home which will give you quick data access without using your bandwidth, because from those online services you need to download the file every time you want to use it. So that's kind of eating into your bandwidth. And here in India that we have limited bandwidth in most of our ISPs. So NAS will give you that local backup, that quick access, plus it will also store those into those online backups so that they do not get lost. Even if your NAS somehow in the worst cases get stolen or stuff, and that SSD is because you cannot carry this NAS, it's heavy, cannot carry this NAS everywhere. So that SSD, I have a 250 GB SSD, I carry it every day along with. So these three things combined is my perfect solution, and I'm kind of at a peace of mind and I'll never lose my data. Let me know how you back up your data in the comment section. Till then, thank you.